Last episode saw us complete season number 2 at Southampton, and we finished painfully just outside the Champions League places. A 5th place finish in season number 2. It was an improvement, but today we're going to start season number 3, and well, Gary Megson's made some more signings, hasn't he? Of course. Let's find out who he signed this time. Hello, welcome back to the Southampton DOF youth only save here on the channel. It's a save that is so much fun because of the mystery that's involved. We never really know what Gary Megson, our director of football, is going to do next. Actually, maybe we do. Maybe we know that he's going to sign another wing back, because that seems to be his MO, doesn't it? In fact, we talked last episode about how excited we were about our new gen striker, Olivier Katenge. It then prompted this comment from Ollie, which I thought was very apt. I could definitely see that happening. Let's find out today if he does sell our star striker to buy another wing back, because we're going to go and complete some more transfers. We're going to go up until the first game of season number 3. Now that we're a Europa League team, we're a European team. That's pretty nice, isn't it? We're going to see what we can do this next season. Can we go one step further? Can we qualify for that Champions League? Maybe even that maybe is getting carried away. I don't think we're going to push towards the league title, but we're going to give this our best shot this year. Before we go and play the opening game as a live com today, let's go and find out what Gary Megson has been up to in the transfer market. Before we do jump into that transfer business, let me just remind you to subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Thank you to everybody who has done so recently. It's lovely to see. We're pushing towards, as our next target, 30,000 subscribers on the channel. It'd be really cool to get there. Maybe we can make it a target. Can we get there before FM23? It's maybe a bit of a long shot, but do you know what? Let's try it. If you've been here a while and you've not already subscribed, then just click the button and be nice, to be honest. Also, leave a like on the video and leave me some comments down below. Maybe let's use this opportunity right now to make some predictions. We finished 5th last season. Where do you predict we're going to finish in season 3? If you get it right, you will have won my approval. I can't really, that's basically all you'll win. But leave me the comments down below. Okay, so this is where we left things at the end of last episode. As you can see, we finished up 5th in the Premier League table, and as I mentioned before, we are now aiming for, at the very least, next season, Champions League qualification. I'd like to push on a bit further. When does this series end? Does it end if we win the Premier League? I don't think we're going to do it next season, but I've done weirder things in FM. I think Champions League is the aim for next season. And to be able to do that, we were armed with this budget here. That's right, £84 million to go and spend. It'd be nice if I could go and spend it, but no, we're going to rely on Gary Megson to go and spend it. Think how many wing backs he can get for that £84 million. There is a little bit in wage budget too, so we might need to adjust it a little bit to make these transfers happen. But this means that he's definitely going to go and try and do business. And well, the summer sort of went one way and one way only. Thinking back to it, it was basically this story. It was, we're linked with a player. I get excited about signing that player. We put a bid in for that player, and then he rejects us. For example, we made a bid for Armindo Seeb, a really talented young striker who I was excited to use, and then he rejected us and went to Dortmund. Then we made a bid for Leonidas Sturgeon from Spurs, and then he rejected us to go to Aston Villa. And the worst one yet was that we made a bid for Gonçalo Inácio, a defender who I love in FM. I think he's brilliant. And it looked for all the world like we were about to get him. And then Atletico Madrid came in and he rejected us for them. And he's on 130k for them. They signed him for 40 million. We were so close to getting all 3 of those players. And we were linked with loads of other ones as well. But lots of people were rejecting us. I'm not really sure why that suddenly started to happen. But nonetheless, we did make some transfer business. We did do some transfers. And let me show you them now. And here is our business up until the first game of the season. The window is still open. It's the 20th of August. So he's got about 10 or 11 days left here, Gary, to add to these signings. He's spent £43 million and he's brought in £18 million. We'll start with the outgoing players, as well as adding to that, by the way. I should mention Ibrahima Diallo did go out as well just before it ticked over to the new season. So it's on last season's list. Look, £29 million. He's gone to Newcastle. A really good footballer. I was having a conversation in the comments with somebody saying he looks really good. He should be the type of midfielder to build your team around. However, we used him a lot in the past couple of seasons. Look, the first season of this save, 36 games. 6.72. He just wasn't very good. Last year, he did play 24 times, 6.88. He wasn't as good as the likes of Johnny in that midfield or Ugarte. So I was actually okay seeing that Gary sold him for £29 million. Will he be a miss? I'm hoping not, because we've brought in some players to hopefully replace him too. But we'll continue with the outs first of all. Let's go by value. Oriol Romeo has joined Espanyol on a permanent deal this time. If you remember when he got loaned out again, now I'm a little bit happier to see him go, because I mean, he does only have 7 pace and 7 acceleration. He was really important, but again, some of the players that have come in now have taken his place anyway. I don't think he played many games last season. 20 games, but only 7 starts. That kind of tells the story, doesn't it? We've also sold Romain Perrault. He's gone to Montpellier, 4.8 million. Nathan Teller has gone to West Ham for 4.1. Alex McCarthy, that was part of his loan deal that he went permanently afterwards for 350k. And then these guys have gone on free transfers. Nathan Redmond all the way down to Dean Lynch, who is, well, actually, he's gone on loan to Wickham, and Smallbone is also on loan to Swansea. Those are the players out. No real big names other than Romeo, which we kind of knew was going to happen anyway, and also Diallo, who we again knew was going to happen. Perrault maybe, but we've got so many wing backs now that I'm not sure we're going to miss him too much. But players have been bought. Let's go through these one by one. Some of these free transfers, by the way, are that thing that it does where it brings in young players for the under 23. So we're going to ignore those. But the big first one is another centre mid signing. Maybe a slightly more attacking one. Attacking midfield, Cam, potentially. But it's Matthias Palacios, or Matthias Palacios, brought in from Basel for £12.7 million, £12.75 million. And I think he looks pretty handy. He's got some really nice attributes, like his dribbling's great. Technique is unbelievable at 18. Good agility. A bit of a technical, tricky midfielder to have in there. We were having a lot of deep line playmaker types, so I do think Palacios could fit in quite nicely. Him and Kudus, I think, could be quite interchangeable. We've got a load of these midfielders now. Do you remember right at the start of the series where I was talking about please sign some midfielders because we're going to play with centre mids? We've got loads. Palacios is going to be added to that list this summer. He's a squad player, so I don't have to play him in every game, but I think we're going to use him a fair bit. He looks all right. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, by the way. Then there was 2 free transfers. William Osula gone into the under-23s. Taylor Ferran gone into the under-23. 6'5", they were like that. And then our biggest summer signing is Lorenzo Colombo from Milan, who is a striker. I'm a bit conflicted about how I feel about this now. With the emergence of Olivier Kitenge, our new gen, our hero, the Wonder Boy, I'm not sure we needed a striker. And we spent a lot of money here, Gary, on Lorenzo Colombo, who is a very good striker, actually. I do like some of his attributes at 21. And if he grows a little bit here, maybe, like, I'm looking at a lot of 14s, a lot of 12, 13, 14 attributes, that if they become 15, 16s, this guy's going to be very, very good. He's left-footed, 6 foot, good agility. His pace is okay, actually, at 14. His dribbling, finishing, first touch, this trio of attributes up here, all really solid. Did he score goals for Milan? He's got 7. Although on a loan look to Serie B, did score loads in the first season of this save. So maybe he has got a goal scoring track record. We'll see how he goes. I think him and Martinez might... I mean, there's going to be those 4 strikers now this year, isn't it? It's going to be Colombo, Shea Adams, Martinez and Kitenge are going to be our 4. And I think we're just going to have to try and rotate them a little bit. Next signing is Malik Mothersile, who is a youngster who has come in. He's a Jamaican striker. Then... FM fans, which I'm assuming is you guys, you're going to love this one, although I'm not sure what to do with him. We've signed Azem Hlozek, who's a wonder kid on the game. He's a very well-known player, isn't it? I'm sure that loads of you have signed him loads of times before, but he is a winger, although you can play him up front, which I'm not sure I'm going to. We've signed him for £8 million, which seems like a bargain to me. 21 years old. I'm going to train him as a midfielder, as a centre mid on attack, which if you have a look at his attributes... I think he can do a good job of this. Maybe just his passing is going to let him down, but he's got some of the other attributes in there. Again, tackling. But then again, if you're on a CM on attack, I'm not sure he's going to be in there to be much of a tackler in there. He's kind of like it's an attacking midfielder, isn't it, really? But making later runs. I wonder, could he do that? I'm going to train him there because otherwise I'm just worried that we're not going to be able to use him anywhere because he's a winger and we don't use wingers. So those were our main signings, though. £43 million spent. The last one, Imam Janye, is a youngster, 19-year-old Swedish guy who actually looks pretty good. Maybe he will be used a little bit more. Maybe he won't. I'm looking again. Maybe he's not that good. Those are the signings so far from Gary. I will show you as well, though, with about 10 days left of the window, we've got a whole load of money still to spend if we want to. £71 million. I'm looking at who we're linked to. Not really that much now. Let's go and play our first game of the season so we can talk through the squad And then next episode is probably going to be that deadline day, and then we'll continue through. How does that sound? I think it sounds all right. Okay, so here is the squad then as we go into the first game of our new season, season number 3. Just to show you as well, it's Newcastle that we play today, but just to show you this too, season preview sees us predicted to finish 9th, so lower than where we finished last year. I think that's a bit harsh, but we're outside the likes of Leicester and Newcastle who we play today. We've also got no players in the Media Dream 11, but do you know what? I still believe. I think we're going to be all right. If I go through the squad then as we pick the team for today's game, just to give you a bit of a measure on where we stand with everything, so you know who's going to be used, who's not going to be used. For now anyway, we are going to stick with the same system, this 4-1-3-2, the home version of it, which seemed to work really well towards the end of last season. We're going to stick with it. Our goalkeeper will once again be Fraser Forster this year, although Luis Jr., if he does come in, not that far off him. He's a really good deputy, actually. A good signing from Gary. That's smart, to be honest. At wing-back positions then, we do have options here. We've got Livramento, and if I show you here as well, Ridvan, who has now picked up the position and is nice and familiar with it. 2.5 stars look. He can play a lot of games as well if we want him to. We've also got Kyle Walker-Peters, who can play mainly from the left, or we could probably play from the right too. We've got Dedic, who's going to start from the left-hand side here. And then also, just to show you too, Mbom, and I just wanted to mention, actually, Mbom not really going to use there very much. I wanted to show you Thierry Small as well, who's a bit of a young player who's at Southampton in real life, isn't he? I do want to use him. I used him a little bit last year. Look, 1 game in the cup and then a couple of games in the season before that off the bench. I do wonder whether we need to try and bring him in a little bit. It's a shame that Gary's also bought a load of wing backs because it kind of pushes him to the wayside a little bit, but we will see. I'm going to rotate them and probably just to play the players that are having the best performances. That's what happened last year. Today we're going to start Livramento because Ridvan is suspended, and that moves us into the centre of defence, where I'm going to go with the 2 most effective ones from last year, which is Keiki on the right and Badiashile on the left. Badiashile, an absolute beast in the air, scoring loads of goals. We've also got Bednarek, who can come in on the right hand side, Salisu, who can come in on the left. We're actually pretty well stocked there now. I'm quite happy with where we are in terms of a defence there. Into the midfield we go. I'm going to start Johnny as the DLP. This could also be Ugarte. This could also be James Ward-Prowse, who is injured for this game. He's out for 3 months with a broken ankle. That is a loss, actually, because he's a very important player for us. And I do wonder who are... This was the 4, really, but with James Ward-Prowse here instead of Palacios. I do wonder if the signing of Palacios and maybe the development of maybe Kudus as well as some other ones, it might change this year, but I think we're going to go with this. Johnny as the DLP, Palacios, Armstrong and Ugarte as the flat midfield 3 in there. And then up front today, I mean, it's a bit of, I'm not really sure what to do. Do we do Kitenge or do we do Colombo, who makes his debut? Do you know what? I was going to do Colombo to make his debut, but I'm going to stick with the youngster because it's a live com and I think you guys want to see Kitenge in action. So we're going to start him up front with Shea Adams. We've got Colombo and Martinez on the bench. We've got Hozek on the bench, who I need to get him to learn this CM attack position. Kudus and Bomb, Bednarek, Salisu. I've clicked on Bednarek there. Salisu and Walker-Peters. It means we're leaving out some good players. Badawi isn't making it into the squad. Decore's not. James Ward-Prowse injured, of course. Yilmaz suspended and Thierry Small down there. I think we're in a good spot. I don't really know where I want Gary to go and sign some new players with that 71 million he's got, but I would still like him to sign some players. Maybe a first choice goalkeeper. Maybe a better DLP than Johnny, although Johnny was really good last year. I'm not sure, but we'll have to factor them in, whoever he decides to sign, won't we? Let's get ourselves up to the kickoff time. Let's submit this team and let's get ourselves into the first. I need an extra sub. Thierry Small, you've made the bench. Well done. We need to also give a squad number to Adam Hlozet. You can take the number 11. That's fine. We are then ready to go. Season number 3 starts here. Champions League football is the aim. Can we get ourselves a win? Just having a look at this Newcastle team as well, by the way. There are some star names in here. Some of the signings they've made. DiMarco is unbelievable as a left back. They've got Lucas Moura, which is a curious one. They've got Edouard. They've got Gabigol as their striker as well as Diallo, who's on the bench, signed from us, of course. Solly March. Johnny Evans is also there as well. They've been busy in the window or in the transfer market, have Newcastle, with all of their minions? Millions, not the minions. That's completely different. Something else. They've got Ronald Koeman as their lead manager as well. Let's get ourselves into this game by going to the dressing room, saying, go out there and impress me, sending our assistant manager to that whatever. We've clicked through it. Here is our team. I'm going to say kick off. We are going to be underway for season number 3. High hopes for this season. Be really good to start nicely here with a goal. Badiashile, that would have been a good Good way to show off how good he's been from set pieces. Ugarte into Armstrong. He's at the post. That's really unlucky. He's a goal-scoring threat, is Stuart Armstrong. That CM attack role in the middle of R3 in defence. Really, really deadly. We're on the attack again here. Ugarte and Dedic combining. Johnny might have a shot. He's going to whip it. Sergio Rico's made the save. It was a good save. Johnny on the spot, you could say there, couldn't you? Another corner. Good first 7 minutes from us. Armstrong's going to swing it in. Badiashile didn't win the header. Of course, James Ward-Prowse is usually taking these set pieces. I think Keki's offside. He's put it wide anyway. He was offside. I'm not surprised. That's a really good start from us, actually. 15 minutes. We had all of the highlights so far. Newcastle coming back into it a little bit. 2 shots from them, and they've just ploughed the ball forward. But Keiki chests it down very calm. Badiashile, Johnny. You see him sat behind our midfield 3. Here's Ugarte. You see that, they're in their setup here. You can see what the plan is. Passing it around Palacios on his debut, of course. We haven't seen much of Kitenge yet, have we? Here's Armstrong through to Shea Adams. He's a threat. He's a threat indeed. He's finished it. Lovely finish from Shea Adams into that bottom corner. And our pressure has told now that we are 24 minutes into this game. We've had all of the highlights so far, haven't we? Bit of patient build-up from us in the midfield. Armstrong drops it into the space, which Adams runs into. The finish is good. We're 1-0 up against a strong Newcastle team, you have to say. Remember, predicted to finish above us as well. They've got the ball here, trying to bounce back immediately. DiMarco into Edward. Crosses. Should be a Dedic header there, but I think, well, I don't know if he did win it. Either way, Newcastle have retained the possession. Rick Karsdorp down the right-hand side. Good save by Fraser Forster. That might not be the end of the highlight, you know. Sometimes when the goalkeeper catches them like this, there's a full extra attack in the highlight. If we can launch one here, I think there's a chance we have a nice key highlight here. Livramento over the top for Shea Adams. He is in behind. It's a chance for 2. Sergio Rico saves. I told you it's going to be another highlight. Rico made the save, though. It's going to be another corner. We look dangerous, don't we? Stuart Armstrong to swing it in. Badiashile, get on the end of it. He does. He's got a toe blown for a head, though, as it goes wayward. Very wayward indeed. 33 minutes. 1-0 at half-time. I'd be absolutely fine with that. We've been the better team. Our XG is well in advance of Newcastle's. There's going to be another highlight before the half-time break, though. Armstrong again over the top. Here's Kitenge, the wonder boy. Can he find a cross here? He goes back instead to Ugarte. Gets it back. Dedic. Get yourself into the box, Olivier. Back post instead. Shea Adams. There's Kitenge. He scored as well in our live com today. He's onside as well. We saw him celebrate. I'm pretty sure VAR is going to confirm this goal. And our young striker, Olivier Kitenge, 17 years old, has nodded it into the back of the net. And we're 2-0 up. The performance so far has been really good. League title? Anyone? Do you reckon? Is it possible? Dedic to the back post. Adams is header. Kitenge can't miss from there. Doesn't miss from there. I said 1-0 at halftime be good. It's going to be instead 2-0 at halftime. Could even be 3. Palacios. Ugarte heads over. That was a chance. Nice set piece. That little glancing header. There is the halftime whistle. We're 2-0 up and we're dominant against what I've said before is a good Newcastle team. Look at that. Second into the league. If it stayed like this, I'd be happy with this. We've got United. Oh, they haven't played yet. Arsenal lost their first game, I've just seen as well. Let's get ourselves into this dressing room. Let's get them straight back out there for the second half. No changes from me. Same again, lads, is the overall message. I'm going to praise them as well. Is Livramento on that yellow card? Maybe need to be a bit careful with him. Here is Livramento. Goes down there, Shea Adams. Livramento goes down now. If at first you don't succeed, keep going down in the box and you will get a penalty eventually. We've got a penalty. It is going to be a very good opportunity to go 3-0 up here. I don't know who's on pens. It's Stuart Armstrong. I was going to change it. We're going to let Stuart Armstrong take it. Maybe Kitenge should be on pens. I don't know what his penalty taking attribute is. James Ward-Prowse usually takes these. Armstrong, though, deputised as well. It's 3-0. We are brilliant. We're doing brilliantly, and we are brilliant. It's 3-0 to us. With loads of this game left, we could start to bring players in, giving people a rest. We could rest Armstrong and bring on Hlozek as the CM attack, which I think I might do as our first order of the day now. In fact, who's most tired in that midfield? Do we do instead maybe Palacios off? We'll move Armstrong because he's just scored. Palacios off and we'll do Adam Hlozek, who's only half a grey star in familiarity, but he needs game time to be playing there, doesn't he? We're going to give him that bit of game time now. I'll tell you what I'm also going to do. We'll leave Kitenge on, but we will bring on Colombo to give him a debut up front. Anyone else we need to give a debut to? No, that is all of them, isn't it? Let's do that. Half an hour to play. What a nice position to be in, being able to give people a rest and bring on debuts and things. Diallo's on, by the way, our former player against us. 20 minutes to play. 18, 17 minutes to play. Just see it through, lads. This is absolutely fine. Let's do our final sub before we finish off here. And we'll do Kudus coming on for Armstrong. I do really like him. He's a good midfield player, is Kudus. We've got a corner here from Ugarte. In towards Badiashile. He's headed it over. You can see why he scored so many last year, though, can't you? Very dangerous from those set pieces. 8 minutes to play. Here come Newcastle, but no. Livramento's there. We might add a fourth here, which would be excellent. I'd definitely be on board with that. Dedic coming forward. Ugarte. Dedic. Over the top. It's Klozek on his debut from CM Attack. Klozek, he smashed it in. What a debut from him. Dedic over the top. Klozek with the finish. Maybe he can play this CM Attack role. Maybe that's going to be a really good decision. We will find out. Lovely ball over the top. There's that late run, that CM Attack run that so many people will be used to from FM22, right? The finish is good too. We're 4-0 up. And the sky is the absolute limit for this team now. We're really, really good. We're going to finish. We've run out 4-0 winners. That might even take us to the top of the table. It does. Look at that. Our goal difference is best. We're top of the league, and that's where I'm hoping we're going to stay. Is it a title charge? If you believe it's a title charge, and if you've got to the end of this video, first of all, thank you very much for watching the whole thing. Leave me a comment down below that shows you got here by just saying title charge. That's the comment. Thank you so much for watching today. Next episode, we will get back to some transfer business. We'll do transfer deadline day. We'll find out what Gary does with that £71 million. And then we'll continue through a little bit more of the season. Season 3 as we try and win this league title. Thank you so much for watching today. Thank you so much for still being along on this journey. So many views on this series. I'm loving it. Thank you so much for the support. Most importantly, though, have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye. Also, subscribe to the channel because reasons.